Hey folks, thanks for joining us on another BGE summary. It's December 2017 and I'm your host, Jason Fry. Alright, so this is a little weird because I'm talking about December 2017, but you're watching this in January 2018, so I feel like I should say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say I hope you had a good Merry Christmas and a great New Year, and thanks for joining us for another fun year of games and exciting things coming ahead. The guys are already producing loads of content already. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Mark. So let's have a chat about what's going on and what we've done over the December period. A couple of interesting things, and talk about what's coming on in the future. So as usual, we always got loads of things happening on the Facebook page. Loads of creators and producers are publishing all their stuff on there. So if you're interested in seeing what's happening, you can always come to the Facebook page, which is Board Game Exposure. I'll put a link in the show notes or in the description below. So please come join us there, and you can obviously loads of competitions and loads of reviews and videos, loads of content, and a lot of great people communicating on there. So it's definitely worth it. The other thing I wanted to mention was obviously we got more content providers for the BGE as well. I mentioned that in the last video. I mean, we got the Giant Brain, Behind the Box, the Game Shelf, new reviewers that have joined us to do more reviews. We've obviously still got the core group that we started with. So let's see what they did. Let's start off with Mark the Machine Helm. He obviously does the More Hits X reviews. There'll be a link below in the description if you want to go to his review page, or you can see his reviews on the Facebook page. So I normally need a list for when Mark's around because he does a load of reviews. Don't know where he gets the time. Okay, so the first thing he did was a review for Glass Road, Uwe Rosenberg game. A little picture here. It's a great little interesting game with a sort of dial mechanic where you have to modify your resources on this little clock type thing. Really interesting. I've only played it a couple of times, but I think it's really good. He's also done a review for King's Abbey from Breaking Games. This has come to me now, and I'm going to have a look at this soon. This is the Breaking Games edition. So this was originally done by another company, and I can't remember off the top of my head who that was. But obviously Breaking Games are taking it over now. Nice little worker placement game, I think. I'm hoping to get this to the table soon. He's also done a review for Iberian Rails. And then from Queen Games, he also did a review for Merlin, the new Stefan Feld game. I'm really looking forward to trying that. I haven't got it yet, but hopefully soon. And then he did a couple of smaller games, which I've not actually heard of. One is, I might actually mess up these names, Xenon Profiteer. You can see over there. This is from Eagle Griffin Games. And it says, in Xenon Profiteer, you take control of a state-of-the-art air separation facility and isolate valuable xenon to make a profit. Holy moly. Okay, so obviously you'll see a video of that soon from me. And then he's also done, jeez, they do make the names these days, Illigery? There. You have a look, tell me what that's called. The dystopian card game. I know nothing about this either. So those two smaller games he's done. He's also did a Letter Tycoon, which is also from Breaking Games. And he has done Infinite's Defiance of Fate. This is a Kickstarter, and I've got a copy here. It doesn't show you much because this is just a prototype. But he will have a link to this when the Kickstarter goes live, as will I when I've done this. And then of course, talking about Kickstarters, a Kickstarter that's actually going at the moment, and that is Spirits of the Forest from Thundergriff Games. This is live at the moment and it's doing really well. Small little card game, tile game, where you're collecting tiles, sort of set collecting. So you can go check that out if you're interested in that. So he did 9 reviews and previews that on December. His favourite game of the month was Charterstone. So the favourite game he reviewed was Glass Road. So with that said, Mark's had a really good December. He'll obviously be putting out a lot more content for January. He's already started putting out some more stuff, so you can go check out his page. But let's have a look what Nick has done.
Hello, welcome to another monthly update for the games I've been looking at for Board Game Exposure. This has been a semi-busy month. I've played quite a lot this month, but mainly kind of lighter and family games because of Christmas. Let's see what I thought of some of the games. I've got my phone here for my list because I have a bad memory. I did an opinion piece on By Order of the Queen, and I did that because this is one of the only games I've not finished one play of. Just didn't grab me, and the game was going to take too long. So rather than carry on, I ditched it. I have to say, all credit to the designer. He replied to my video on Board Game Geek and just said that not every game's for everyone. So I really respect his reply there. But yeah, not one for me. Problem Picnic, great game, really surprising. I play this with my family mostly, but I need to try it in my game group because I think it's really good. It's area control by rolling dice with a bit of kind of city building, well, anthill building, and there's just multiple ways to score and multiple things to aim for and ways of mitigating the luck of your roll. Because you have the luck of what you land on and what number of ants are showing. But it's just a lovely game, well thought out, one of my favourite Scott Elms games actually. Then we got on to some of the Breaking Games games. I looked at Boomtown Bandits, which for me doesn't quite fulfil its potential. It's a speed dice rolling game where you're dueling over locations to get loot. A couple of things, I think they've missed the mark on some of the content when it appears to be a real family friendly game, and yet there's a brothel in there and some choice words, which means I can't play it with people I would choose to play it with mostly, which is my children, my child. I haven't got children, I've not just checked. I haven't had another child just now. But my nieces and nephews, that type of thing. We had a discussion about whether the loot should be face up. I think there should be something on the tiles to tell you what your chances are of getting what type of loot. But I think to have it face up would spoil the nature of it. But yeah, almost there, but not quite. Letter Tycoon was my favourite Breaking Games game. Evolution of Scrabble, I guess you could call it. You've got a hand of cards, you're making a word, which you then buy patents of letters, and whenever someone else uses one of those letters, you get paid. I looked at the Merchants of Araby, which is a pure negotiation game, and one that really, the game mechanics are solid, the rulebook is rubbish, but the mechanics are solid, and it really depends on your group whether you're going to enjoy this one or not. Just got an itchy ear. If your group likes that kind of trading, that kind of making deals, then they're going to enjoy this. If they like being an idiot to each other, then this game might last a bit longer than you would hope for. I looked at the first 3 Exit games, which I enjoyed them all, and I did a video ranking them. I looked at Yummy Yummy Pancake, which is a Korea board games game with an actual frying pan in that you flip, and it's memory match, or not memory match, but memory game. I looked at Number 9, which is a tile laying game that has been very popular, and again very popular in my household over Christmas because it's easy to play. Then I looked at a couple of Kickstarter games, one that are coming to Kickstarter soon or are on Kickstarter right away. Spirits of the Forest is an excellent filler game that is meatier than a lot of filler games, from Thundergriff Games, who have got such commitment to high quality components that it is just amazing what they give you for the price. So I recommend going and checking it out. There'll be a link in the description of this video, won't there, Jason? So that's well worth checking out. And Warriors of Jogu coming to Kickstarter soon, either January or February, which is a 2-player game from Tony Chen, who did Iberian Rails. I really liked it. It takes a while to get your head into because there's some bluffing elements and you're not quite clear about how to bluff. When you first play it, it sounds silly, but you've got to get your head round the way each faction plays and everything. And the video isn't live yet, but the Kickstarter is going live in January, so I'll mention it this month. Warpgate from Wolf Designer, fantastic space game from the guys who did Guards of Atlantis. So that's it for me. Hopefully this has been within the 5 minutes because I ain't re-recording it. Cheers, Jason. See you next time.
Now, thanks, Nick. So, from my side, I got a few reviews out, but I also did a couple of other videos. The first thing I did was a little bit of a spotlight on IDW games. I started off with Sekatsu, which is a beautiful looking Japanese garden building game where you have these beautiful little sort of round tiles with flowers and birds on. It's a great little game, actually. Really good. I highly recommend it. You can check out my review on that. I played the game with Carlos, so you can see some gameplay over there. And my son Alex. Talking about IDW, most of the games I reviewed in December was theirs. This is Outpost Siberia. This is a small little survival game, card game, where you're using the cards for multiple things, you know, for resources, events, etc. Fully co-op, very hard. You can go check that out. Then we did essentially what is a 2-player game from the Atari line called Centipede. You can play this 2 or 4 players, so you can have 2 centipedes and 2 gnomes. Interesting game. It's basically reminiscent of the old Atari game, hence the name. So you can go have a look at the review for that. And then one that I think flies a lot under the radar, because it's designed by 2 of my favorite designers, Eric Lang and Kevin Wilson, and that is Arcane Academy. And it's basically, the theme is you're a wizard going to this special realm where you're competing against other wizards to become the top student of the school. It's theme-wise, it's not actually all that irrelevant, but the gameplay is interesting. You've got this interesting little slate, and you're building little tiles on it to gain your actions. A little bit of a race to it as well. Really interesting game. There's an expansion out for it, but only in America as far as I can understand. So I'm hoping to get a copy of that at some point to add to this. And then I also did one of the big games, or one of the bigger games from end of last year, which was Civilization: A New Dawn from Fantasy Flight Games. As Civilization, the previous one they did, was one of our favorite games on gaming nights. Easily one of my top 10 games, and most of the guys I play with in their top 10 as well, maybe even top 5. So to see what we thought of this new comparison, you can go check out the video. I also did a review or preview of Spirits of the Forest. So got a lot of content for that. And then finally, I did, at the end, sort of beginning of December, we went to a convention, smaller convention in London called Dragon Meet. It was predominantly a role-play convention to begin with, but now it's really moved into sort of a split between board games and role-play games, and it's even moved because the people who run it, Modifius, are sort of now branching out into board games and miniature games as well. I mean, they've got the new Fallout miniature game coming. They got some beautiful figures for the Star Trek role-playing game. So they're doing really well, moving really forward, and they're making this convention grow as well. This is bigger than it's ever been before. And if you want to see what it looked like, you can watch my little run through for it, where I do a run through of the trade hall and then show some pictures and stuff of the gaming hall and stuff like that. Really fun convention. Highly recommend you go check it out next year. It's only 1 day, so just take a train down. And then Martin and myself did a top 5 videos of a top 5 list of the games, new games to us that we played last year. We do one of these every year. Instead, it's like a top 10 list, but we just talk about the games that we played this year, which was our best new games that we tried. I mean, we play a lot of games over here, excluded the Kickstarters and stuff like that, so it's just full-on retail games and games that have come through Kickstarter from back in previous years. So it's very interesting. It's a little long, obviously, but I think I enjoy the videos because it's fun watching back, because we've done that 3 or 4 now, and looking back, you know, in the previous years to see what the games were and how often we play them going forward, especially with the amount of games coming out. It's crazy. Alright, so that's enough about what I've done. Let's have a look what Lindsay's done.
Hi everyone, so this is my little roundup video for BGE, where I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of the games that I played in the past month. And you know what, I had a pretty quiet month as it goes, because I had loads of different stuff going on and was inundated with games in the meantime, and then it was Christmas, but I did manage to get a couple of reviews in. I played Warriors of Jogu. I'm not sure I mentioned this in the last video. I played Warriors of Jogu Faint and have just done a little Kickstarter preview video on that. So that's a 2-player game by Tony Chen of Monsoon Publishing, and oh, it's a lovely feel, this box. There's a really nice review copy actually, and it's a rather sort of light and engaging 2-player game. Gets you thinking, loads of room for kind of development, and I'm kind of excited to see where it's going to go, but I'll talk about it a little bit more on my video, and Nick did a video on it as well, so yeah, check that out if you get a chance. That's kind of Kickstarter later on this month. And Warpgate, which I keep looking down and looking for because I haven't got any more because I just passed it on. Warpgate was a really great area control game set in space, science fiction, whizzing around the galaxy, colonising on planets and fighting for territory, which is basically very much my cup of tea. And I really enjoyed that one. I just did a little video on that as well, so I'm going to put that up a little bit later on. And I kind of described it as being a very kind of streamlined, manageable area control game. That went down really well for me. I really enjoyed it, so watch my video and see what I thought. Very much looking forward to playing Issa by Eagle Griffon Games. I remember when this was kickstarting last year, and I thought, oh wow, this looks really cool and really my thing, even though I actually was talking to someone earlier, I don't like seafood. I used to go fishing with my dad, but I like the theme. It's a quaint theme, which I really like, and it's a kind of resource management card game. I don't know a huge amount about it, but I'm still excited to get it out, find out and play it. So this one to keep an eye out for, that I'll be putting up on my website or my YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that one. And Cursed Cult by Atlas Games is another one that I was very lucky to get hold of, and another that I'm really looking forward to playing. So this isn't a Kickstarter game. This is I think it's retail at the moment actually. It's a card game, board game hybrid, and it's a little bit about, you know, I think bluffing and deduction. I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking it might be a little bit like the Phantom of the Opera board game, but kind of more updated version. I don't know, something along those lines. That's what I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, I'm interested and intrigued to play Cursed Cult. So yes, that is the games that I've played and that I am looking to play. I could give you the rundown of all the other little games I played in between over Christmas, but I could just keep on talking, so I won't do that. Very much looking forward to what this year's got in store for Board Game Exposure and myself. So happy New Year everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks, Lizzie. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this month. Obviously we've got a lot of content coming for the future. We've got lots of games. You can't see it, but there's freaking games everywhere now coming in that we need to review and play and stuff. Loads of Kickstarters hitting straight on really quickly. If you have any ideas for this sort of segment, I mean, obviously we're doing just a summary of the game, so you can have a quick summary of what games we reviewed, and then you can go check it out on the individual channels. But I'm looking to add something more to this, just to maybe make it like something interesting. If you want to hear news on what's happened, you know, in the gaming industry, I can maybe put in a little news segment, or anything else you might be interested in. What games are coming out on Kickstarter, maybe. So let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you thought. Any changes to the way I do it as well would be much appreciated. And let's have a great new year of gaming, and see you guys at the table.